This to the Foul Play YouTube channel. We're at open mic number 237. This is part 8 of the new DCI Reports. Hope everyone is doing good today. How are you doing, Christina?
I am well, Jax. It's chilly again in Florida.
Oh, well, like 60?
No, it got down to like 34 last night.
Oh, wow. That is cold.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like that's like the Arctic.
It for us Floridians, it's not normal, not at all. And it's supposed to I'm gonna wait and see because they don't know the weathermen. I feel like they do a worse job now that they have all this technology than they did before, but it's supposed to be cold, even colder Wednesday. So we'll see.
Yeah, it all the snow that we got, we didn't get hit like Kalamazoo and everything on the west coast of Michigan. It
Hmm.
because there was a lot of lake effect snow over the last several days, but yeah, they got hammered pretty good. We
Oh,
had we had like I don't know 5 6 inches, maybe a little bit more in other places, but it all pretty much melted today. It warmed up to about 40 or 45. I don't know. It was warmer, but still not what I would consider really warm. But we're supposed to get hammered again, so we'll see. Hope you guys don't get freeze to death too much. I know how it is when you get down there in Florida, man. If it drops below 70, it's like chilly. I guess
yeah.
because of the humidity, like the humidity and stuff. But
It's
anyway,
wet. And so
yeah,
wet cold to me
yeah, like
is
being on the lake.
yeah, yeah, it is. When I lived out in Houston, it snowed one year, which is bizarre, I know. And that cold to me was even worse because in Florida there's trees, it's not a lot of flat open land, but um that that cold in the barren space was probably worse than the cold here, simply because the wind was able to just really be, I don't know, like, I don't know how y'all do it up there with that wind.
Yeah,
Those
that's what
40
that,
mile
that
an hour gusts, boy.
yeah. Yeah, that's what really makes it rough in the winter here is when it's really cold, 20 degrees and then you get a 20 or 30-mile-an-hour wind. It really does cut right through you, man. It's different. That's something we really had to get used to once we moved up here. We've been here a while. We're pushing coming up on 20 years soon. So,
Yeah.
but
Where are
yeah,
you from again? Tennessee?
yeah, I'm from East Tennessee. I grew up just south of Knoxville,
Okay.
and for the first 40 years of my life, and job the job that I was doing and the industry I was in, I had a choice. I either had to start over into something else or move. Well, I looked locally, and there wasn't really. I mean, I found a place about it was 50 miles basically from one way.
Wow.
It was in the same industry, but they didn't want to pay anything, and their insurance was. I've never seen anything like it. They did have, I guess, pretty decent insurance, but the new people, when I say new people, I mean people that were there from 0 to 3 years, had to pay more. After you passed 3 years, it dropped. The people that were there dropped, and then from that point on to 10 years, you had to pay X amount, and then once you hit 10 years, it dropped again. So they're forcing the heavier premiums on the new people. And I
Yeah.
told them, I'm like, I don't know how you're legally doing that, but I'm not interested. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Drive
that's
50 miles. Oh man, it was ridiculous. So anyway, we ended up moving to Asheville. We were there for many years. So, well, I say many. We were there for 6 years. I loved it in Asheville. Beautiful, beautiful area. Anyway,
yeah.
but we ended
Yeah.
up here because of what I did for 25 years or so. The industry that I was in, you can take it pretty much anywhere. So
Oh,
once you
that's a
learn it,
blessing. We
it is.
one of the things they do, I don't know if they do it all over the US, but I know here in Florida, if you're of childbearing age, you pay a higher premium than if you're not. And I always thought that was kind of crappy, because I interviewed for jobs where their insurance, it would be like $80 or $90 more a week for to get coverage, just because I was able to have children. And I'm thinking to myself,
well, that basically puts it off onto the women that work in the industry. Come on, man, that's not right. No, I've never heard of that in my life. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was very common.
That's crazy.
And then when I used to look for jobs dependent upon insurance, and I was just like, wow. I mean, as a single mom, $360 a month in the insurance. And once you work, you don't qualify for any kind of public assistance. So if you have the insurance through your work, you have to get it. And so then you got to put your kids on there. So you're paying a mortgage payment, not anymore, because mortgages are insane, or rent payments, but it was like, $1,000, $1,200 a month just in health insurance. It's crazy. Yeah, absolutely crazy.
I was out of I mean, it was still relatively expensive. I bet, we moved to Asheville, and the company, that company had 93,000 people around the world that worked for them. So it was we had good insurance.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how good it was. And this is not a brag or anything else. It was actually, I'm still kind of shocked at it, but when our twins were born in 2001, they were preemie. They were in the ICU for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So out of all that, I got a bill for $16.
Wow.
Their bill was $180,000 or $90,000 paid. I had one bill for something. I don't even remember what it was. $16. That's all I owed. I paid that right away.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Best $16 you ever spent.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Alrighty, guys, gals. We're gonna pick up where we left off. There's going to be, Christine and I were discussing this before we started. There's going to be some more interesting. There's going to be some dull ones in here too. Don't get me wrong. That are, basically, I mean, they're irrelevant, but it's interesting. All the people that the DOJ talked to throughout. I mean, just they were basically going and looking at. They were talking to people that Avery had been in prison with back in the 80s for some reason. Like they were trying to dig up some kind of dirt, this pursuit of Marie that they did on a case that had already been investigated, and they didn't bring charges earlier in 2005. Anyway, this is another one that you can see is redacted. Now, this one, I went ahead and pulled it up. This is what we got when Rookie or Euros, whichever one got this one. It has no header page. However, it's not redacted. It's not complete either, because you can see it starts in not stated. There's no beginning, whoever the hell this was. This was John Christopherson. Looks like he did it by himself. Yeah, he did it by himself.
That's a name I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, he's from the Eau Claire Special Assignment. Yeah, this is he's in here a couple of times. I've seen at least maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4, maybe 5. I don't, not too many, not too often. But he went and interviewed whoever this. Can't even pronounce this person's name. Nate. Wouldn't call it Knight.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah,
it looks German.
It does look German. But yeah. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this is one of those that, see, Avery was in prison with him.
Oh, I know why they interviewed him. Look at the last word in the first sentence.
Howard Nut was very much involved with Dungeons and Dragons growing up, and subsequently in 1990, when he was in Fox Lake, he was also into Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
He was very much into Satanism. You see that?
Yeah.
Yep. And that's like a perfect macabre feel on a Halloween whodunit.
Sure.
Yep. So
Anyway.
story.
Yeah. Again, this is another one of those that it's just irrelevant to me. Just completely irrelevant.
It's B-roll filler.
Yep. I agree. Anyway, so let's move on. Okay. Here we are at March 1st. Arrest, signing of the criminal complaint on Brendan Dassey. Fassbender, Uyghur, everybody's involved now. Everybody. There's no need. I mean, we can look at it, but, it's got different counts here. First-degree homicide, mutilating a corpse, first-degree sexual assault, as a party to a crime. All three of those as party to a crime. Again, I look at this. Brendan can be mentioned in Avery's trial, but everything but the kitchen sink was involved in Brendan's trial. It was allowed. How they were able to me, it's just a perversion of the justice system, what happened here. Just a real perversion. So they could convict Avery. Whatever else happened, and they didn't care. Anyway,
I will always find, I think about O'Kelly's little slogan on the bottom of one of those emails: the truth is but a chameleon within our words. And then I think of that, and then I think of Kratz coining the phrase, Brendan was the sacrificial lamb. And I think it's very telling that he chose that descriptive because, narcissists very much will tell on themselves if one chooses to listen. And they knew what they were doing to that kid.
Well, he even had a video before he took it down. I mean, N64 grabbed it, but we have it. But one of the videos he released before he left social media back a few years ago was labeled, or it was titled, "The Sacrificial Lamb," talking about Brendan. And that's where we found out about that camera that was in the privacy rooms in Calumet County.
Yeah. They were illegally spying on him during his attorney-client meetings.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, this is the criminal complaint on Brendan. I'm not gonna read through all that. It's been available. I don't know why that they would redact anything in here. It's just
records for Wisconsin. Do we have a non-redacted copy? I was wondering what was redacted.
I would imagine we probably do somewhere. Probably in the library.
Yeah, because it says Wisconsin, if I remember right, it's like a DOT and then it's a blank or something.
Well, it's got talking about license plate SWH 582. I don't know if it goes into Teresa and her data. I don't know what it says. I don't remember.
Okay, so it's probably something to do. I mean, why redact it? She's the victim. That doesn't make any sense.
I know. Like I said, they went feral with these redactions, in my opinion. See, they got Teresa's date of birth redacted up there right above it.
Yeah.
I don't know what this bottom part says. I didn't go look. I'm sure we've got this criminal complaint unredacted somewhere. Anyway, it's available if anybody wants to read through it again. I've read it before. It's just full of lies to me. It's got so much. So they're going all the way back to November 14th, 15th. laying out this, and there's more redactions, laying out this criminal complaint that's multiple pages long. And then, of course, we know that from this, there's so much detail in here that you don't normally find. But then Kratz did the 20 or 25-minute press conference, which made this a million times worse. He did something that prosecutors rarely do, and then when they do it, they have problems. Anyway,
it's just her VIN. They redacted. This is what they redacted. The records outlined that the vehicle with Wisconsin license plate Sam William Henry 582 is owned by Teresa Halbach, and the VIN for said vehicle is, and it gives the VIN number. That's what they redacted.
Why the hell would they redact that? That's so dumb.
No, it makes no sense. Like, what are that? You have to question why. Like, why that?
I mean, Ferguson went into some detail in that letter that's attached to this new release, and he did, like I said, he did quote one of the statutes that's in the open records list there, 1931 through 1937. And then it's a sub heading or whatever. Mm-hmm. They really took it to extreme in exempting a lot of this stuff, in my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah, but why that and not? I mean, what? So why apply it to her VIN number but not other things?
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's like very bizarre what they consider is redactable.
Exemptable. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to 248. We're still here on March 1st. Execution of search warrant, consent to search, seizure of evidence. And of course, we know Fassbender and Uyghur and many other officers were involved. They went directly to Avery's garage. There's just really no point in reading through all that. I mean, we can read some of this. On the same day at approximately 6:56 p.m., Fassbender, along with Uyghur and Sheriff Pagel, Deputy Chris Bessler, Ken Kratz, and Assistant District Attorney Jeff Froelich entered the residence of Bob Yonda. I didn't know Kratz was there. That's interesting. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Huh. I wonder why he went to Barb's house. Prior to entry, Fassbender and Uyghur had spoken with Yonda about Yonda providing consent for them to enter her residence and look for shoes, jacket that Brendan Dassey may have been wearing on 10/31/05 when he was involved with Stephen Avery during this assault and killing of Teresa Halbach. Yonda was also asked if the investigators could seize handcuffs and leg irons that were known to be in her possession. Yonda did provide her consent for the investigators to enter her residence to seize items. At 3:25 p.m., Yonda signed a consent to search form filled out by Uyghur. Interesting. Anyway, it goes into getting the leg irons and handcuffs. It's strange that throughout none of this in these course of interrogations did it ever one time mention that Stephen and or Brendan went to Barb's house and got these things and took them back to Avery's. Not one time. And they didn't find any of Teresa's DNA on those items either. Nothing. This creative fabricated stuff is just. Anyway, so they got his jacket. I mean, we know he got that, and they got his shoe. We got photos of that. They didn't find anything. All this killing and, as Doc says, ultra violence. They found nothing, no blood, no anything. Buster photographed the shoes and the area they were found in. Uyghur seized the shoes. Anyway, it tells all about what they did inside the home. But I know those pictures exist. And I need to try to find those again. I think I've got them somewhere. Barb's double wide has a basement, which is a bit unusual. You don't usually find a basement in a modular type home like that. Sometimes, but it's pretty rare. But she did have a basement that there was a lot of stuff down there in. Just whatever. People have basements and they put extra stuff down there. And those pictures are somewhere, and I probably got them on my external drive, and I need to get those so we can get them on the website.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah,
because the boys slept down there. They had it like kind of divided off.
Well, one of them certainly did, and I think that was Brian. He had a room downstairs. I don't know about. Well, Brendan and Blaine had a room, and then Bobby had his room.
Because I think there was a point where Bobby tried to say that he was sleeping down there. And I remember a discussion being had where we had to pull up stuff showing that Bobby was in upstairs during this time.
Yeah, that was definitely his room. They had the video camera rolling. Anyway, goes on the list of property tags of the handcuffs and the leg irons. Like there's 2 sets of that blue jacket with the word Friar Tuck on it. And we get into some more things. A pair of red and white tennis shoes. That's Brendan's. Look like a couple of pairs. One pair of faded glory jeans, size 38-30, obtained by Brendan Dassey in the kitchen. That already seized that other pair. I'm not sure what this is, but I didn't know they seized 2 pairs of his jeans. Anyway, there's Barb's consent to search. And then, of course, here's the ledgers, stuff they took. And then a copy of the search warrant itself and the affidavit. And that's it for that one. Hell of a day. And, of course, they, executes the search warrant, buckle swab of Brendan. They took him down to Aurora, swabbed him up. Of course, during this time frame, there was also a search warrant of Avery's garage, which we talked about yesterday, the 85 photos that Hammerl took that I'm having problems getting. And then, of course, they went inside the trailer and basically destroyed that bedroom and the carpet, the hallway. They took it, the paneling, and they found nothing. Anyway.
Shocker.
Yeah, right. Evidence disposition. Yeah, here's another search warrant. This is for Brendan specifically to get his buckle swab and fingerprints and so forth. And this is the lab chain of custody. Here are 250. Transfer of audio tapes for enhancement/duplication. Here's Larry Flessert again. He's the man. We'll read a little bit of this. You feel like reading a little bit right now while your voice is up?
Yeah, I can read.
Okay. Well, if you get to the point you don't want to, just tell me and I'll pick it up. I'll blow it up a little bit here.
On Friday, March 3rd, 2006, Special Agent Thomas J. Fassbender received from investigator Mark Wiegert of the Calumet County Sheriff's Department 2 Maxell, I remember those, C60 audio cassette tapes. These cassette tapes were utilized to record an interview of Brendan Dassey, which occurred between Dassey, Special Agent Fassbender, and Investigator Wiegert on February 27th of 06 at Mishka High. The cassette tapes were being transferred for the purpose of submitting them to electronics technician Larry Flessert for enhancement and duplication. The tapes were designated by Calumet County Sheriff's Department evidence tag numbers 7841 and 7842. Special Agent Fassbender subsequently assigned DJ DCI 37 property receipt NOD 2609I or 1 to the 2 audio cassette tapes. On Monday, March 6, 2006, Special Agent Fassbender transferred the audio cassette tapes to E.T. Larry Flessert at the DCI Madison office in Madison, Wisconsin. E.T. Flessert signed the property receipt, including receipt of the cassette tapes. On Monday, March 13th, 2006, E.T. Flessert transferred the audio cassette tapes. I lost Jax. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up. I think he must have got butted or knocked out. You know, it's funny while we're waiting for him to come back in. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but the meticulousness and attention to properly documenting things is so prevalent when they know the evidence benefits them. But when it's evidence that they hope disappears or it's not really something that is going to enhance their case, it's very sloppy. And I've always found that interesting. Let's see if I can figure out where. I think it would be here. No, that's not it. Let me get on YouTube. If anybody has any questions, now would be a good time. Now would be a good time to ask me, since I'm here by myself. What's the clue, Mr. President? It sure was. Yes, it was. It sure was taking a long time for evidence to be received and transferred. I just don't understand why they couldn't. Thank you. I'm so glad you're back.
That was unfortunate.
Well, I did my best.
You're fine. Yeah, you know, it's Power Blink and talked everything down and said you're going to leave for now. And so anyway, I apologize for that, but that's
okay.
That's out of my control.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to find a copy of it to read, and I just chit-chatted away. You know me. Thankfully, I like to talk. So,
well, I apologize for that.
That's okay. It happens.
Let's see if we can get back on track here.
Yeah. I was commenting, they're so meticulous about this chain of evidence with these tapes, but yet the bones in the burn pit was so sloppy. They didn't have the medical examiner even out to the scene. But yet when it comes to this, they're discussing his confession tape, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They want to make sure that doesn't get lost because that's important.
That's right.
Ties it all together.
that kind of goes back to, you know, how they did a lot of these reports. Some things they even want to attach everything, and then like the 85 photos that Admiral took can't be found. Sorry, can't help you. Okay.
So Stuart has a question. Stuart King. Hi, Stuart. Do you believe Zellner will stick with this case and be ultimately successful? I personally do. I think that I don't think I know I think I'm probably in the minority because I believe Zellner did this for the right reasons, and I believe that if anyone has the ability to navigate the political arena that this case is a part of successfully, it's going to be her, because she's dealt with cases like in Chicago. I can't remember the guy on death row where she was able to
Oh, that was Ryan.
not
Oh,
Ryan Ferguson, but
no, not
that was another case. But one of her first cases was a guy who had been convicted of multiple murders and he was on death row.
yeah,
And she found they had made a very, very obvious and reversible error.
error.
Yep. And she was able to take that, and she could have got her client out of prison. But instead, what she got was got him off death row and was able to get confessions to cases, locations of bodies for loved ones to have funerals, and solve a lot of cases. And so if she wasn't in it to do the right thing, I don't think that would have been her goal. You know what I mean? She would have just got him out of prison and not cared, you know? But she
Right.
knew he didn't deserve, she knew that he didn't need to be free. And she knew that these families should have, you know, the ability to bury their loved ones. And so
Sure.
that says a lot to me about who she is.
Well,
And
another one of her cases that she was heavily involved in was Riley Fox.
that case
Remember
broke
that?
my heart.
Well, sure. I mean, you know, that little girl. I mean, oh my God, what that son of a bee did.
Yeah.
But then, you know, they had the dad in there, and that one detective, he was notorious for getting him, you know, basically coercing people, threats and intimidation, and that Zellner, you know, got him out.
Yeah. So that case is how I became, that gave me the ability to recognize how you could be innocent of murder but still confess to being responsible for the death
Yeah,
of someone,
yeah.
because
And
they
until I got into probably 2000. I don't remember what case it was, but it was probably 10, 11 years ago. I don't remember what case it was, but I read about somebody being coerced, and I'm like, why? Cops don't do that. But then I kept reading and I did some more digging and like, oh my God. And they had this one detective, whatever hell case it was, uh, he had gotten several cases because he coerced people and threatened them and whatever, you know.
Mhm.
I had no idea it was. Yeah, you hear about
well
stuff that happened in the 40s and 50s, but now it's like crazy.
well, I mean, his wife, Riley Fox's mom, had went out of town.
Right.
And so the dad had Riley and her older brother, and they convinced him that he had left the door unlocked. And so he felt guilt
Yeah.
because, you know what I mean? What if
Yep.
he hadn't? If he'd have locked the door, he wouldn't have been able to come in and get his
Well,
baby.
as I remember, the lock was kind of screwy. It was kind of
Mhm.
screwed up, so you had to mess with it to make it work, and so it just got to the point where they just didn't.
Yep. And that's what his wife said. His wife said it wouldn't have been locked even if I'd have been home.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I knew he would never hurt his baby.
Oh yeah. No.
And
No.
so thankfully, she knew her husband well enough to know that he would have been convinced, or he would have been fooled into confessing because of his heart, right? Because of the
Yeah.
guilt,
Yeah.
because of what happened.
Right.
And she also had the connections and the financial resources to get Kathleen Zellner involved in that case.
Well, you got to look at that other end of the guilt part. Is like, well, okay, why didn't you just fix the freaking lock, right? Just fix the lock, be done with
Yeah.
it. That way, there's no. Yeah, I mean that's what I would have done. Maybe what you would have done, but not everybody. It depends on where you live. I mean, where I live at now is a very low crime area.
Mm-hmm.
So I
And it was
would
probably
do
on the list. You know what I
well,
mean?
sure, the
And
honeydew list.
yeah, and it was probably something that, they would go to do it and something else would come up and it wasn't even, so she was taken during the day, not at night. And if I remember correctly, it was like a storm door, so during the day, it wasn't the main door that wasn't lockable. It was just a storm door. And so if I remember correctly, that's what it was. So it wasn't like they didn't deadbolt the house at night. He took her in the middle of the day, didn't he? If I remember
No,
correctly.
no, it was at night.
No?
No, it was at night. Yeah, it was definitely at night.
Okay. I
Yeah,
was thinking it was in the middle of the day. But either way, Kathleen, I believe if anyone has the ability to navigate the legal system and successfully on Stephen's behalf, it's Kathleen Zellner. No one else
yeah,
would touch this case because of they knew it was going to be what she's gone through. I mean, look at how many people have just tried to make her out to be everything she isn't. And you got to have thick skin to be an attorney to begin with. You got to have thick skin to work in the wrongful conviction, criminal defense arena. And she's a tough cookie.
oh yeah,
All right, back to the interview. So
yeah.
I hope that answers your question, Stuart.
I'm not sure where you got to. Hopefully, I'm scrolled down far enough.
Yeah. I'm going to start to. So on Monday, March 13th, 2006, E.T. Flissert transferred the audio cassette tapes back to Special Agent Fassbender at the DCI Madison office. E.T. Flissert advised he had enhanced the audio and transferred the contents of both tapes to DVD. He advised there was both an original non-enhanced copy and a enhanced copy on the DVD. Do we have both of those?
I think so. I think we've
Okay.
got them both.
E.T. Flissert provided Special Agent Fassbender with 4 DVD copies. Flissert maintained the original DVD containing the enhanced audio. E.T. Flissert signed property receipt D2609, indicating release of the audio cassette tapes back to S.A. Fassbender. On Tuesday, March 14, 2006, Fassbender transferred the audio cassette tapes to investigator Wiegert. Wiegert signed the property receipt indicating receipt of the tapes. Fassbender also provided Wiegert with one of the DVD copies. Fassbender gave 2 of the DVD copies to the Calumet County DA's office. A copy of the property receipt will be submitted to DCIR.
That must be department, some kind of records keeping, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. But again, here we see
of DCI would be Division of Criminal Investigations, and then R is probably records. Yeah.
Again, we notice Flushert meticulously detailed the property tags. Remember the one that I talked about last night, where he made those copies of whatever the hell it was for. This was, a month before trial, month and a half, for Fassbender and the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. Look, I'm not saying that was a copy of the zipper voicemail, but then on literally just days or maybe a couple of weeks later, on Kratz's exhibit list, the zipper voicemail is listed.
Yeah.
Am I implying that he had it? Yeah, I definitely feel he had a copy of that voicemail. It's been shuffled off somewhere under a rock, or I don't know. I don't know where the hell it's at, but I definitely feel they had a copy of it.
Mm.
Why else would he put it on his exhibit list a month before trial?
So
They didn't have it.
messed with it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That report that that's one of the ones I requested last week.
Okay, good. I was going to say, did you make a request for it? Because it would be nice if it appeared, wouldn't it?
Well, that one report, it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have any property tags. It doesn't tell what it is. He got 2 envelopes with several CDs, DVDs in them, and Fassbender, and they were from Fassbender and from the Manitowoc County's 2 different envelopes. Fassbender's 1, Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department's 2.
Very interesting.
Jacobs worked for the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department. I don't know what was on them. So I asked for a copy. I want a list of what those were, and I want a copy of everything that Flushert did. That's on him. So I hope he's got some kind of reference as to exactly what he copied. Otherwise, why would he write a report about it? He's just going to do it on the side. Come on, man, that ain't right. Anyway.
It'd be interesting to see what fruit that produces, because that could be huge.
Well, maybe. I mean, there's certainly quite a bit of audio that we didn't get from Manitowoc, specifically November 4th, 2005. Now, I doubt that that's part of this, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of audio that we don't have. I know there is.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell by the much movement as just what's reported here.
And it's just like, I mean, you can only make excuses for so long before the pattern of behavior starts being a indicator of wrongdoing, So it's key.
You mean like 7 entries into one residence that's 1,000 square feet or whatever? 7 entries?
Not even 1,000 square feet. Funny story. I live in a single wide trailer at this time, and I think mine is bigger because my bedrooms are 1 on each end, and I know my second bedroom is bigger than that second bedroom that, that's funny. We never really talk about the fact that trailer had 2 bedrooms, because the second bedroom was so full of stuff. They really didn't do anything in it. That's how much they knew that a crime didn't occur there.
They got a few things out of there, but it was just full of junk, basically. Had a bed in there, but nobody could sleep on it. It had so much junk on it.
No, because it was another storage area.
That's right.
And that's how small that bedroom was. That's how small that trailer is. A That was probably either a full or a queen size bed. So here's your there's a context clue. It's a full size bed in a bedroom, and then everything stuffed on top of it, and you couldn't walk around it. Now, Stephen's bed is probably a queen size bed in his bedroom. That queen size bed, he had the dresser with the TV on top of it. He had those two little bookshelf things, the one where the key fell, supposedly. What else was in there?
Well, there was a desk in the corner there of some
Oh, yeah.
kind.
And that little desk, that was the whole wall.
Yep.
And then you had the mirrored closet space. Wasn't it mirrored? I feel like it was mirrored. I haven't looked at pictures in a while. It might have just been sliding doors. I have them. I don't have the doors, but I have that closet style. There's the things that are supposed to have occurred in that room with two people standing up. When there's two people in my bedroom, and my dog, there's no room.
Oh yeah, that room. I mean, it's misleading. The photos that we see are misleading because you can't really see behind the camera. The behind the camera is, but they're basically at the bed.
Yeah, it's why ET dude, alien dude, Kacharsky said he sat on the bed when they were doing the search. It's because if he was really in there, he had to. Because it was him, Link, and Colburn. There was nowhere else for him to be but sitting on the bed. So he's sitting on the bed where a supposed crime took place.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going through here. Absurd. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm seeing a couple questions here. Let's pop these on. Well, the info court with KZ and the new judge be streamed. I don't know. I'm not sure how they do it.
It's really interesting how it could be, but it could not be. So if you're talking about that status conference that's coming up on the 9th.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it because that's probably going to be a phone call. I mean, not to say that I'm not going to try to get my hands on it, but I doubt that will be streamed. I doubt they'll stream that.
It's so unusual for them to even talk to anyone.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. No one can truly understand what's going on here. I mean, a lot of people suggested that this new judge just wants to get, kind of caught up on the case, but that's typically scheduling a status conference. I mean, the guy that took it from Judge Angie, there was no conference there. He didn't know. I mean, I don't know what he knew about the case, but it doesn't matter. He didn't get a conference for a little confab, a little chin wag. So I'm not sure what this is about. I hope it's recorded and becomes part of the record because I'd certainly like to hear what's said. Another question: Candace Boxley, have the Gilters quit their KZ is going broke nonsense? You know what? I'm not sure. I haven't. A lot of that's on the Gilters group on Reddit. Some of it, overflowed to the MAM sub, but I'm not on there that much anymore. I have a real problem with how Reddit admin is so selective in their approach to how they handle different people.
It's not what it used to be.
No, it's not. Everything changed when the brothers, the guys that created Reddit, when they sold it, everything changed and it became worse.
It's very Facebooky. Nothing wrong with Facebook.
It's very clickbaity too. And, every click, they have potential for an ad, and that generates money for Reddit. So
TikTok is becoming like that. There's still, and a lot of people. I was like that for years, but TikTok is slowly moving that way too. Is there another Reddit type platform? because I loved Reddit
Not
back
really.
when I first, 2017-ish.
Back in 2007, 2008, a lot of the behavior, or most of the behavior that we saw displayed in the MAM sub would not have been tolerated. It would have been immediately acted upon. They had, the admin. You could talk directly with them. They were very hands on. If there was a problem, if you try to report somebody and there wasn't a problem, they would throw you out or suspend you. So, but if there was a problem, they typically would handle it like pretty damn quick. Now, when I mean quick, I don't mean days. I mean within hours, there would be some kind of resolution. So it changed drastically. I mean, I really didn't comment way back then, but I certainly read a lot and watched the actions and saw a lot of things occur. That's like, yeah, okay, that's something that should have happened. Anyway, let's move on. And hello, their neighbor, True Crime Fangirl. Anyway, 251, signing of the amended criminal complaint on Avery. And of course, this happened on the 7th. It was, a few days after, of course, Brendan. So that's listed. We're not going to read it. 6 charges here. Well, I'll read these. First degree intentional homicide. They got part of the crime attached, mutilating corpse, possession of a firearm, first degree assault, kidnapping, and false imprisonment. Of course, we know several of these they had to drop. But they carried this for almost a year in the media and everywhere else. But then a week before trial, several charges had to be dropped because they didn't have any proof. They didn't have anything. Let me zoom this back a little bit here so I can. There we go. And it's got the amended criminal complaint list attached. 252, interview of Blaine Dassey on 227. This is Deb Strauss and Gary Steer.
No.
Dyer. His name's not redacted, and he's a minor. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's par for the course in this case, but it's still weird.
It is, because they probably even got his name listed as exempted down here. See, they do. Up at the top, exempt. They listed his name anyway. Yeah. Anyway, it's got that interview with Blaine on the 27th, and of course we know that Blaine ended up joining Barb and Brendan at Fox Hills, for they were abducted for the night. For some,
I would love to have that recording. And I'm not the only one who has said that.
Yep. Pretty lengthy interview, and this, again, this is a Deb Strauss classic. It's several pages, but no tape was turned over. But I would bet money that she recorded it, because again, being a reasonable person here, I'm not saying that I'm an investigator. I'm not. But as a reasonable person, I'll look at if it's a page, maybe 2, I can see details being able to be given. But when you get in past a couple pages, sorry, I have a problem there. I think they're recording you can't prove it.
Well, there's a addendum or memo or note in the report that she submitted when she was investigating Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department for the wrongful conviction of Avery, where she notes that she is destroying all of her notes. And tape and the recordings made during interviews. So she records everything, and her note and her reports show that. Like, you can tell that she's replaying and rewording from the replaying. And and let's be, I need to always remind myself, police officers can legally lie and not get charged. But you, as a citizen, if you lie to the police, or if they say you're lying, they can charge you with a crime. And so I think if you're recording something, it is automatically evidence, and there should not be an ability for an officer to take a recording and use that to write a report and then destroy the only evidence that confirms that is a truthful representation of
the
interview.
I don't think
pretty good argument, isn't it?
I don't think that would be. I mean, she actually destroyed an actual recording with a witness, or
they do it all the time. They'll say it. They can do it. I just don't think it should be done. There's nothing wrong with them doing it.
No, actually, I think they should be recorded, and I think that should become part of the record. That should become part of the record.
No, what I'm saying is there's nothing illegal about them destroying the recording after they memorialize it. I think it should be illegal.
I do too.
I think if it's recorded, it should automatically be submitted as evidence to verify this is how the interview went. And I think the reason for that is the amount of cases where it has become apparent that officers can mistype, misrepresent, and flat out lie about what you said.
Of course. I mean, that gets into the whole servant burn pit thing.
Mm-hmm.
He decides to just go hog wild. Almost a 20-year veteran, a law enforcement officer, doesn't memorialize the scene immediately. He just goes against a shovel and starts or rake and starts raking stuff up and doesn't do anything. Come on, he knew better. He knew better. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
I completely agree with you. I think interviews should be recorded, and it has to become part of the record. It has to. Kansas has got another question. In yesterday's comments, I think someone said guilters are moving in on the main MAM channel. I looked quickly. It was like a numbskull convention. Is it just an attention while Dutcher is news? I don't know. Like I said, I really haven't been on Reddit. I mean, I browse it every day or every other day. I'm there, but I don't really comment much anymore. I like I said, when they did what happened with Doc, that really taught me a real lesson about how certain people can get away with things and other people get immediately hammered for the most minor infraction. And I still don't know why my original account got permabanned. I still don't know. They said I violated some statewide or site-wide rule, and they didn't tell me what it was. Never did. So I became less of a fan. Yeah, I still like Reddit. I think the whole intention of Reddit is a great thing if it's handled properly. and
Wow.
fairly across the board. All right. So sorry, I can't fully answer your question, Kansas, but maybe I'll take a quick drive through tonight and see what I see. We can talk about it later.
Huh. Yeah. Thanks, Kansas. Did you know that Blaine's boss was arrested? Cornely?
That might have been something that while you were away that you missed. Yeah, we talked about that. We had
No,
the
this was posted a day ago. He was
yeah, but that
arrested in February. Okay, so you know about it.
oh yeah, we know all about it. Oh yeah,
Wow.
yep, yep.
Interesting.
The guy's got serious problems. Serious
Yeah.
problems.
Yes, he does.
All right, let's move on. 253, enhancement of audio tapes. Well, and who we have? Our favorite technician, Larry.
Larry Flesher.
March 10th, on March 6th, 2006, technician Fleshert received two C60 cassette tapes from Fassbender. The tapes were cataloged on DCI 37 D2609. Fassbender asked that the tapes be enhanced as portions of their contents was hard to hear. March 8th, technician Fleshert copied the tapes to a digital form, goes into the computer. March 9th, Fleshert ran the digital copies through the SES system in order to filter and reduce background noise on the filter. On March 10th, Fleshert copied all files associated with this task to a DVD-R disk, creating a DVD-ROM. The DVD was cataloged as C4216. See again, he details everything with a property tag except that one report. It's such crap, man. Anyway, he enhanced it, took down some of the background noise so it's easier to hear. I don't know what this one is. I haven't researched it and dug it out. I'm gonna guess, just a guess, that it's the interview that Fassbender and Wiegert did on Brendan at Mishcot High School on the morning of the 27th. That's my guess, but I don't know that for positive, so don't hold me to it, please. And notice that he didn't attach the receipt to his report either. There's another one. The receipt's not attached. Anyway, 254, records examination, Brendan Dassey, attendance record. And I know there's some attachments with this one that we didn't have. This is also on March 7th. Wiegert and Fassbender, they go to the high school and get these attendance records of Brendan and do all that, shows all that stuff. So you guys are welcome to read that. We're not going to read through all this. I think this is a multi-page attachment. So anyway, I'll just scroll to the end here. I don't know why this page is attached. There's nothing on it. Anyway, that's it. Yeah, that's into that one. And this was a fax that apparently got sent. I'm not sure they were at the high school, so I'm not exactly sure why it got faxed, but another one faxed to Andrea's email, whoever Andrea is. Another thing I noticed here too, I'm going to mention throughout these DCI reports, Fassbender and some of these other special agents get phone calls from people outside with voicemails left, but we don't have those voicemails of what these tips or somebody calls in wants to talk to them, blah, blah, blah. We don't have those either. And I have to wonder if they exist. What do you think, Christina? You think they exist? Do you think they've been destroyed?
I think they should exist, and they probably did exist. But if it's tips regarding like stuff about this case specifically, I think it should be evidence and it should be kept. Do I think they kept it? Probably not.
I agree with you.
Unless it benefited their attempt.
Their side.
Yeah.
I agree.
Then they'd be shouting about it from the rooftops.
Right. All right, 255, evidence seizure. The creeper. This is on 3/7. This is a week, 6 days later. But it's not the creeper you think. I thought it was the creeper in Avery's garage, but they already had that. I think. I think I'm saying that right. This may be the one out of Avery's garage. Let's look and see. This is on 3/7. I was thinking this was at the Dassey garage on March 7th at 5:45. Passmaker on Uyghur sees an automobile creeper from the bar beyond the garage. That's what I was thinking this one said. And I didn't know that they seized a second creeper.
I didn't either.
Until I read this. If I read this report before, I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
Prior to seizing the creeper, Uyghur telephoned Yonda at Foxme 527 and asked if she would meet with a Uyghur passmaker at her residence. Uyghur told Yonda that they wanted to request her permission to look in her garage for some additional items, and this was based on information that Brendan had previously provided. I don't remember anything about Brendan saying anything about the creeper in their garage. Not one word.
No, but what he said was the creeper they used was red and black, and I don't think Avery's was it?
It was.
It was? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was Avery's creeper.
Or maybe they were just seeing if it looked more possible. Because if you know what a creeper is, it's not big enough to move a body on.
Well, you could, but you're going to have to hold a bunch of crap. You're going to have to hold feet up. Most of them are not long. You're going to be able to lay somebody down on their back. Their arms are going to flop. Their head's going to flop.
It's not wide enough for a body to lay on because basically half your body's on it. Like, even me, and I'm not a big person, unless it's a creeper that is made for a very large individual, it's not built for comfort and to conform to your body. They're only about 18, 20 inches wide.
Oh, no, they're wider than that, but
not the ones I've seen. Not the ones I've had.
The ones I've had are wider than that. You can lay down on it, and they're made to lay your back on. Some of them have a little head cushion, but your feet are meant to hang off. The lower part of your body is meant to hang off.
Yeah,
so you can move it with your feet.
A body. There's no way you can move a body on it.
Well,
you
could with difficulty.
You could. Well, let me put it to you this way: a whole body intact with two people trying to carry it, you would have to tuck them on top of themselves. I mean, just. That's not.
What I'm saying. It would be difficult, extremely difficult.
It's not going to happen.
It would just be easier to carry someone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, looks like she let them in. They got it. They transported it to the sheriff's department and placed in the evidence
room.
Is
too funny.
And it was assigned evidence tag 9218. I don't remember calling even testing it, but I could be wrong.
I think they had a different idea in their mind of what a creeper was, because these guys are not mechanics. And so they really thought this was going to be a great prop until faced with what it looked like. And then
looks like she had a black and red creeper too. But Avery definitely had one because we got a photo of it in his garage.
Yeah.
So she had one too. But again, Brendan, I I don't remember Brendan saying anything about them going to his garage and getting a creeper. So anyway, okay, 256, receipt of Dr. Simley's report. This is on, now we're going back in time. This was on 224, February 24th. So we're back a couple of weeks from the prior reports. Simley, this report pertains to Simley's examination and analysis of a piece of charred dental remains forwarded to him as a result of the investigation. Electronically attached, blah, blah, blah. And he did attach it. It's Topoggle. It goes into his report on what he found. I'm not going to read through all this. It's unnecessary. We know what he supposedly found. He ends up gluing together 3 pieces, and even at that, he would not identify it as Teresa 100%. Wouldn't do it.
No.
So anyway, 257, interview of Amber L. Fox. Yeah, we get into several of these: high school counselor, the principal, some other people. I'll scan through these when I extracted them last week. I didn't get anything out of them. Nothing that we didn't already know anyway. I think we already had, I'm pretty sure we had all these from when Rookie and yours got that couple batches in. So Foxborough advised, she asked Brendan about the comments he had made about hurting himself. That was another one. It was another insane. Anyway. Foxborough was asked if she spoke to Brendan's friends, and she said no. She was asked if she knew Marie Avery. She said yes. Fox advised Marie was advised that Marie was an officer for the SAD club. Foxborough remembered that Marie had stated that she was sick of talking to the police and the media. I bet she was. I can't imagine. You got a cop coming in demanding that you make certain statements, and you're going to get threatened over it if you don't. Anyway, let's move on.
And
258.
And I think the most frustrating thing is going to be when you're telling the truth, which you've been raised, just tell them the truth. It'll work out. You're constantly telling them the truth. And because they don't want to hear the truth, they keep telling you you're not telling the truth. That's got to be frustrating.
Very. That's right. All right, 258, transfer of evidence to the crime lab. This is Fassbender making a report. Looks like it occurred from the 14th to the 16th. 11/22, Uyghur transferred to Fassbender an envelope containing palm prints of Brendan. Multiple items evidence from Hawkins. They took several things to the crime lab, it looks like. They're all listed there. 13 swabs of blood, control swabs, 7 dried stain swabs, red substance, blood-like substance, all found in the garage.
Isn't it interesting? So his fingerprint cards were up there, Brendan's?
Yeah, they took his prints on the first, the first, I guess.
But I mean,
Aurora.
But that's part of what they're submitting is the fingerprint cards and then all of this evidence.
Yeah.
See?
Yep.
Yeah. Thank goodness you can't transfer fingerprints from a fingerprint card onto evidence.
I read some kind of article years ago about the difficulty in trying to transfer someone's fingerprints. It can be done, but it's so difficult. It's not worth it.
No, because it's a reverse, and it's very. It
Well,
takes an immense amount of talent, which these guys don't have,
no, no.
to do it. And but I find it interesting that Brendan's fingerprint cards are included with knives, shell casings, handcuffs, all of these items that if they could have put his prints on there, it would have really bolstered the confession being
Oh yeah,
truthful.
oh yeah.
And yet, yeah, but the thing that stopped him is it can't be done.
Not without great difficulty. I mean, you literally have to take the print, and you make a copy of it. It's reversed, then you have to make a mold so it's back in the right direction.
Cole Haynes said, "Not gonna happen."
That's right.
I can't even.
D26.
I can't even put DNA something without putting my own DNA in there.
That's right. D2611-2, red substance from a debris pile, and debris pile found in the garage. Okay. I don't know what that was. Probably power steering fluid. 5 possible fibers, 3 from the garage, 2 from Avery's bedroom. 9 knives, various sizes and brands, 1 from the garage, 1 box cutter, 7 from kitchen. Shell casing, bullet fragments. How many more bullet fragments did they find? Are they talking about out of FL and FK? 6 cell casings from the garage. Okay, the 2 bullet fragments from the garage, that must be out of FL and FK. Yeah, and on and on and on. Anyway, evidence disposition. Anyway, electronically attached. Paul got the ledger. Yeah, there's the ledger, and it may have the. They look at all the stuff that they seized at. And virtually all this came from Avery's. Some of it came from Barb's, but pretty much all of it came from Avery's. Several pages, and then we have the transmittal, criminal evidence. It's got the listing there. We've got a lot of these too. I'm not going to say we have them all, but we've got many of these. They're all listed up there.
There's lots of evidence transmittal and property tags in this.
Oh yeah.
I noticed that.
And this one's from, I'm pretty sure this is from Hawkins. He wants DNA testing done. I think that's what this letter is. And he's got the shell casings identified. We had somebody here and they left. Somebody popped in. I heard it pop.
Huh.
Whoever it was, come back. More the merrier. Anyway, he's got a bunch of things he lists here in this letter to the lab. Talks about the handcuffs and the property tags. He's got the knives listed. Anyway, he goes on down and he wants DNA. Yeah, there's more stuff here too. See, he wants, I would like the bullet fragments be tested to see if there's any. Why would they redact that? Why is that rubbed out? It's got to be DNA. I mean, come on, man. So he's got a bunch of stuff here that he's wanting DNA tested. I'm sure he was directed to ask for that, but nonetheless, Hawkins is the one that wrote the letter, got everything typed out for him. And then, of course, the crime lab ledger, got all the items listed. And that's that. So, pretty lengthy report. 258 was 30-something pages, I think, if I remember right. Pretty long.
Long one.
Yeah. All right. Number 259. This is also on the 7th interview of Debbie Knox. She's the principal. I didn't get anything. I read a good portion of this one. I didn't get anything from it that I didn't already know. I just didn't. She talks about Brenda being learning disabled, but she didn't know the specifics, and that's not really shocking as a principal. Not to know specifics about one student unless there's like real problems. They probably are not going to know all the details. So anyway,
It just
I don't
says
think
he didn't get in trouble.
right. He's a good kid. Basically, he's just slow and got learning disabilities, and that's about it. Okay, then we got same day, the 7th of March, interview of Susan Brandt. She's a counselor. I didn't get anything from this one either that I didn't already know. I'm sure that Travis and probably a few other students' names are redacted, friends and so forth, that they've redacted out. And, I understand, but it's kind of crap. I think we probably got this report, what I say this was. 260. Let's see here. 260. We do have it, and it's probably it's probably unredacted. I'm gonna bet here. See, it's completely unredacted. So, it's talking about see, this got some other kids' names in here, and I get it, but at the same time, it's part of the investigation. And I seriously doubt that anyone out here in the public's going to go, I gotta call these people and talk, see what they know. No, it's ridiculous. Anyway, it's the end of that report. Let's move on. Get that back over there, and I'll close this one out. Let's get to 261. Interview with Karen Baumgartner, the guidance counselor. Again, same thing. This was mentioned by the others. The last one. I didn't get anything out of this one either that I didn't already know, because I'm sure we've already got, we already had this one too. So it's unredacted, and it's unredacted as well. And then this note, we did not have this note that was attached. Let's see if we can, because I don't remember. Baumgartner said she was spoke to with Brent after the January 13th meeting, and what Brandon was feeling. Brandon advised she had spoken with Brent after that. He advised that Brent was concerned. Again, I didn't get anything out of that. 2 pages of note written by Baumgartner referenced in the report. So this is from Baumgartner, another counselor or whatever at the school. She's just written some stuff down. She's got they redacted quite a bit of it. Pictures of redacted out letters he wrote to his ex-wife. This has got to be talking about Avery and Lori. Anyway, it's there to read if you guys want. I didn't get anything out of it that we didn't already know. 262, subpoena to Microsoft Hotmail. There's some, I guess, interesting things here, but again, it's nothing we didn't already know. I think there's some actual documents that we hadn't seen before in this one. This is through Messenger, which was, a thing going back even then. I mean, Messenger's still around today. Of course, it's changed a lot over the years, but the redactions are screen names, I'm sure, with the Hotmail account. So they redacted those.
Knowing Cornely, got knocked off for what he was up to and knowing what he was doing back in the day, you have to wonder if there was evidence. Because, I mean, like, was he grooming Blaine and Brendan?
No,
Trying
I don't think he really had anything to do with Brendan, but certainly Blaine.
Right. So would he have been encouraging him to go to certain websites, trying to, open a door for him? And if so, this is all hypothetical, but I'm just sitting here thinking on this. If let's say that hypothetically, let's say that he had encouraged the boys to look at certain websites and that was found on the computer, and they chose not to pursue it because it was clear it didn't help their case against Avery. You have to wonder, like, why they didn't at that time at least open a separate investigation to stop him from trying to harm children. Am I making
no,
sense
I'm
without
with you.
exposing too much?
I'm with you. I'm completely with you.
Like, why is it? Is it because they don't want anything at all to put Steven's name out there? Like, they're willing to just let people be abused because the alternative is admitting that they framed an innocent guy and his nephew? And we can't have that.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like, that's how this case highlights how when you are at minimum being sloppy, and that's me being kind, how the conviction of the wrong person creates more victims and does nothing to facilitate actual justice, because the people who lost a loved one or whose loved one was harmed are given a false sense of security that if the person is paying for the crime, then the family has to have their wounds reopened. We saw that with Penny Bernstein, right? And then they blamed them when they're the ones that put Stephen's face in her brain to begin with.
Blame the defense too.
Yeah.
Got to.
Yep. And then you have all the additional victims that are going to be harmed because the person who's truly responsible is still on the street. And then you have the victims that are created from the person like Stephen, his children. They grew up without their dad. Now Brendan's family, like, the lost relationships. It is just bizarre how can someone reconcile that what they're doing is okay?
Can't.
No.
The ripple effect is massive. We've seen that before.
Yeah, it is just, and the chickens always come home to roost, man. What's done in the dark will be brought to the light. And that's what's happening in this case. And it's interesting because, Kathleen Zellner said it in Making a Murderer. I think it was her. She said it takes about 18 years.
Oh
And
yeah, that's right. 15 to 20 years is not unusual to undo
yep.
a wrongful conviction. That's right.
And here we are again, another 18 years of Stephen's life and 18 years of Brendan's. Almost next year will be 18 years. And there's movement now, and I just got a feeling that it's unraveling on them. But and no amount of money will make it right.
No, that time you can't replace time with money. You can,
And
can help and ease things, but time is irreplaceable.
so they did this all because of a $36 million lawsuit.
Yep,
So,
that's right.
and knowing that, and you can bet when they sue, the civil attorneys or the jurors are going to know about the 36 million.
Yep.
I mean, $500 million. If I was a juror, if money's that important to you, I'm gonna make sure it really hurts.
Well, it's
So
got to be
you think
painful.
twice.
It's got to be painful so they don't do it again. It has
Um,
to hurt.
yeah, and what to me would hurt $500 million. I think that's fair. Well, I want to hear from people in chat. What do y'all think's fair? What do you think? If let's say these cases are overturned, they're exonerated. If you were a juror, what would you award Brendan, Stephen, and the Halbach family? Like, what do you think Wisconsin should have to pay for this mess?
Personally, 50 million is not out of the question. If it's proven that this was intentional, and to keep on, and so on, I could go into infinitum because we had this judge Angie. I'm guessing this is part of the reason she stepped off the case. She's saying that it doesn't matter that somebody's driving, the victim's car 2 days after they're reported missing. So what? Really? You don't? There's not a question there about that. They didn't
So,
interview the guy that, of all the people that they went all around this property. They interviewed everyone that came and bought something, but they didn't interview the paper route guy that said he saw something. Come
yeah.
on. Come on.
So are you saying 50 million per person?
Yeah.
So 150
Yep.
total?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see what they're saying in chat.
That's painful. I can tell you for any state that would hurt deeply.
$1 billion, Kelly, I'm with you.
Yeah, that's never going to happen.
Mr. President says the Halbach family gets nothing. Stephen and Brendan get the state of Wisconsin. Yeah. And VIP seats at the Green Bay Packers for life.
Pete Moss says I would rather see them behind bars.
Me too. Especially Kosur.
Well, if there's intentional, it's proven that there's malicious intent. Criminal charges should be filed. I mean, if we're going to do it one way, we have to do it the other way.
Yeah.
I'm all for giving law enforcement the benefit of the doubt. I am for honest policing. I am. We have to have the police in our society, in any real society. But come on. Anyway, let's get back.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to read Justin Stricken's comment. And then if you don't mind, is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Wisconsin has a wrongful conviction cap at $25,000 per year. There's been a few cases people have gotten more, but it's rare. I think 1 to 5 million zone would be fair if innocent. That's why he was suing for the first time around. It was because of that cap. I think $25,000 is garbage, especially in today's age. I mean, $25,000 doesn't even buy a new car. But it just goes to show how little they value the exonerated. What was it that Fallon used to call it? The
Project Innocence.
Project Innocence. Yeah. Yeah. The way he said it says it all
Yeah.
to me.
Actually, in one of these reports, it's actually listed that way, and it's the Innocence Project. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Because he's trying to get people, because he can't believe they're innocent. That's what he wants you to think. There's no such thing as a wrongfully convicted person. And that says a lot to me.
Yeah.
About his mindset, truthfully.
Well, he's a smart cookie, so and words matter to him. That's his bailiwick, his words.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, let's get back to this
All
email chain. On Friday 3/17, Midhun requested and received a subpoena for Microsoft top mail. The subpoena was signed by this Judge Gabler from Eau Claire. Why are they going to Eau Claire to get a warrant signed? I don't understand that. Why didn't this go through Manitowoc? Can someone help me understand? I'm not being facetious either. Why did they go through a Eau Claire judge instead of Willis or Poppy or Fox that they've been using? I don't understand.
What's the warrant for? We went over this, but I don't remember.
It's for Hotmail messages, instant messages.
Yeah, that's strange.
For,
Not unless that's where the sex crime, like internet crimes against children office is located. That could be
okay.
like a logical reason, because
Oh.
back in 05 there wasn't a huge internet child porn stuff. Like it wasn't as heavily policed, and the attention wasn't there, so there may not have been that may be where the branch that handled that was in. I don't know. That's the only logical reason I could think of it.
Yeah, I mean, it just says requested all subscriber screen name, internet activity, and account information for the following. It's got the email address and the screen server name. Screen name. Screen names. It's plural. Again,
And what's the date on this?
March 17th, 2006.
So do they have Brendan's computer yet? Or Kratz got me
No.
calling it Brendan's computer.
No, they didn't seize that computer until April 21st, but Candy had called Fassbender, and she'd called him a couple times, and there may even be in conversations that we're unaware of that are not in a report, because it's strange that they're going and collecting this data in March, and then suddenly they seize the computer in April.
And no
Anyway,
report, right?
Yeah, again, I'm not understanding why they would go to Eau Claire County, to a Eau Claire County judge to do this. I just don't.
Unless
Anyway,
they were trying to keep it under the radar.
Well, yeah, that's the only reason I can think of. Why would they do it otherwise?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the subpoena ducus tecum, however you pronounce that word. I'm sure it's probably Latin or something. It goes into, delivered to Eau Claire County Courthouse, or to Christine Midton, Wisconsin Department of Justice, at the DCI in Altoona. Maybe this particular agent was used to deal with that judge in Euclid. I don't know that. I'm just suggesting it. I don't know that. Oops, sorry about that. Hit the wrong thing.
It is strange. That is for
It is.
sure.
Yeah. And this is the order. So the judge signed it. And then here's the in a matter of the subpoena, the records of MSN Hotmail sent to, and then it's got the assistant district attorney request subpoena for documents. It's got that affidavit. I can't say that I probably have read this. Again, it's got the email listed. It's got the assistant district attorney's signature from Eau Claire. Again, going outside of Manitowoc and or Calumet. Don't get it. Sorry, I just don't.
And how far, Claire, have we? I think we looked it up, and like across the state.
I don't remember. You'd have to look it up. I think you did one time. I'm not sure if it's on. It's all the way across the state. It's on the Minnesota border. It's a really head scratcher for me.
It is 242 miles.
So it is across the state. It's on the western border.
Yeah.
So, it's talking about this officer operations associate Midtham. It didn't even sound like a special agent.
No, what's the name? Let me see.
It's at the top of the page there at number 1. I, Officer Operations Associate Christine M. Midtham, being duly sworn on oath. Not even a special agent. Office Associate.
Midtham.
Yep. She's been an employee since 2001, so she's been there for 5 years. Since 2004, Atkins has also been assigned to the Wisconsin Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, which was developed pursuant to the federal grant received, et cetera, et cetera. Your applicant has received over 90 hours of training in computer crimes. Okay. So it gives a bit of a background. Number 5, applicant alleges that on March 9, 2006, Special Agent Michael Howell presented your applicant with the following information. Bassman provided a copy of MSN Hotmail chat room conversations to Special Agent Michael Howell. The following conversation gives the conversation, et cetera, et cetera. Let me just scroll down here. Yeah, this is interesting. She's not even an agent.
Now, what's interesting, yeah.
And going through Eau Claire all the way across the state to file this warrant. Then it goes into Avery. Arrested on November 9th. Since then, Fassbender has been approached by Earl and Candy, brother, and sister-in-law Stephen Avery. Blank received the above-mentioned chat conversation while logged into MSN Messenger services. See, that's why I'm sure that there was conversations that Candy had with Fassbender prior to this warrant, because, yeah. Tells me all I need to know. Oops, sorry about that. Do it again. Let's move on down. I don't know. It's there to read. I'm sure it's going to go on and on about some of the more intricate details about getting this warrant. So she signed it, submitted it, and that's it. That's all for that one. Where are we at here? 8:18. We'll do a few more here before we get off down the road. we started a little bit earlier tonight. Let's do a couple more, then let's call it good. Does that sound good with everybody? I don't know about the rest. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm hungry. Oh, look, there's a question here.
Oh, you know what? I didn't hear the your pizza ain't here yet.
No, I'm not sure. Somebody might be picking it up. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Somebody else is getting it. I didn't order it, so I'm not sure how they're having it done.
That's like I haven't heard the announcement.
Yeah, we've got Google Home installed for many functions within the house, and one of them's the doorbell camera. So if somebody walks up,
it comes in handy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We've got another camera too, but it's separate from Google, but yeah, it's really handy. And you can talk through it too. You see somebody on the, at the door, and you can pop the camera on, you can talk through it. Whatever. Yeah, it's really handy.
One of my stepdaughters has that. And as soon as you get within the zone, it says, "Hi, you're on camera."
Yeah, I don't think
notified. Yeah, I have notified. I forget what the exact wording is, but basically it's saying, "We know you're here, so you better be here for the right reasons." I was like,
"Smile, you're on camera, and it's not candid."
Yeah.
Anyway, Nan's Life says, "Does everyone understand what Chief Judge Dutcher's position is, and that he is given his position by the Supreme Court?" I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about, Nan. Do you want to explain that further? We can go into it. I mean, as far as I know, he's just another judge. The other judge says, "Hey, I know Sawinski. I was at the same hunting club." That's what we think. But how this didn't come up for over a year is mind-boggling to me. No. So I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that, Nan. If you could explain a little bit further. I mean, the chief judge in the various counties, they're the chief in each county or district, whatever, assigns cases to various judges. That's part of their function. I'm not sure what else.
It's interesting that.
She's saying that Dutcher is the chief judge. Is a chief judge. Oh, I see. That's interesting. I did not know that.
It's going to be interesting to see if the reason for the judge's recusal doesn't, and how do I say this? So it's real easy to convince yourself that your defendant is pulling crackpot witnesses out of thin air when you don't know them, right? But when a judge has to recuse themselves because a witness in this case navigates the same circles, that kind of makes it difficult to dismiss him as another POS who doesn't warrant at least, the energy, right? To take his account,
right,
and read
has no standing,
right. And so I find that interesting. And then that it's going to a chief judge is interesting as well, because they know the law. I'm going to say that a chief judge is going to have a better grasp of the law than a judge who doesn't have the experience and the variety of cases that a chief judge is going to have. And that's something I've noticed, is that even judges if they don't choose to stay abreast of,
Current cases.
legal stuff, they
Yeah.
can make rulings that are clearly not
Legal.
legally correct. So,
Setting themselves up for a big appeal.
yeah. And so this is going to be, it's going to be interesting. The status conference is interesting. It really is. It's a spark.
And that's
And
tomorrow, right? Isn't that tomorrow?
I think it's the 9th.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. It's soon. I know that. So yeah, it will be interesting.
My niece's thing is this week as well. It's probably going to be postponed again, but it should be reaching conclusion soon. Can we review the documentation as pertaining to the hearing tomorrow that you went over that Sandy had shared with you?
Oh, that's the court compilation. I can pull that up if you guys want. Okay, give me just 1 second. It'll take a second. Because I've got that bookmark somewhere. I've got so many bookmarks.
I know. Isn't that? Are we talking about like the? I looked at the CCAP stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is, right there. Okay. Give me just 1 second to pop this off.
We could just ask. Let's see what Google says. Our status.
Okay. I hope this is what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, this is if anybody doesn't know, this is and anybody that's been in the system in Wisconsin, I can't say this is probably every state has something similar, but Wisconsin's is pretty thorough. Just everything in Stephen's record that's been filed through the court in one way or another. As you can see here, it starts up top with all the charges, et cetera, going all the way back to way the hell back. Got his name, their birth, et cetera. It's got his attorneys. Going back to Lloyd, got Johnson there, Strang and Buting, Hagopian, so forth and so on. Zollner, Johnson, and Richards. Court activities, 12/9/2024 at 8:45. Washara County Status Conference. Right there it is. Guy Dutcher.
What date?
Tomorrow.
It is. What time?
8:45 a.m.
Ooh. Which will be 9:45 our time?
No. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's I'm sure that's in Central Time. So yeah, 9:45 for us.
Okay.
But again, I'm hoping this is a Zoom call or some kind of telephone call that's recorded that we can get as a public record. 11:29 or 11:20. I'm sorry. Request response regarding open records. I can't say that that's one of mine, but it probably is one of these. This was another. Here's another open records on 11:20. Status conference on December 9th. That was filed on the 20th as well. Request another open records on the 19th. I sent a few. And of course, the new assignment of judges right below that. Used to these records requests, I don't know if it's still there or not, but on down in some prior instances, people's names were actually listed with the records request. They had your actual name there. Because it's public record. You make
Hey,
a records request. Yeah.
so is it District 2, District 3, or District 4? Or is it Circuit Court?
It's circuit court.
All right. I need to know Manitowoc.
No,
What?
not Manitowoc.
All right. Tell me what it is, because I just
It
found a thing to get a link. If there is one.
Waushara County. WAUSH.
Door County,
AR.
Douglas,
Yep.
Dunn, Eau Claire,
Waushara.
Dane, Crawford, Columbia. Oh, W. Okay. TU. Waukesha.
Nope. Waushara. WAUSHARA.
It's not listing that one.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Court of Appeals. Let's try District 2. See what that says. Uh-oh. Court of
Land's law
Appeals.
says Waushara County doesn't list as having a live stream court like others do.
Oh,
And
they already found it. I should have known you. I'd already tried to find it.
Nan says it's a District 4.
So we got Circuit. All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if the status conference isn't live streamed, but I will be surprised if it's not recorded and becomes part of the record.
Yeah. Well,
it should be something that's been able to get through FOIA. So we'll see.
Here is, I'm going to put it in the on-air text. There's a link to their live stream courts for Wisconsin that I just found. And maybe we can figure out a way to get a hold of it. I feel like it should be streamed or recorded. I do. But that doesn't mean it's going to be.
That's right. I agree. Okay. I'll tell you what, why don't we hold it here?
Okay. What number are we on?
We are on, we'll be starting back up next week on 263.
Okay.
We're over halfway through this document. In total. Now, at the end of this document, I don't know how many of you have looked at the document. There are 372 DCI reports. However, they utilize different case numbers that are associated. I don't know why they did it. I'm sure there's a reason why. They utilized other case numbers in association with 05-1776. There's other ones too.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous. That, that's how I was able to get some stuff was through Dane County by using a case number that I had found on a report. And that's how I got some stuff of a while back that we hadn't had, was because it never even got filed under the DCI or the Calumet. But they had it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think there's 3 other case numbers that they utilized. I don't know when those were turned over to, Loy or Buting and Strang, or if it was even a time frame for Loy. Probably was for Buting and Strang, but I don't remember. Well, that's something we'll have to look at when we get to them. But it is interesting.
It is.
And interesting as they're going, this last report that Hotmail, that they would utilize the Eau Claire court to get these subpoenas. I don't really understand that.
No, I think We're gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, I don't get it. And it says it may be live streamed through Manitowoc County Court live stream though. I guess that's something we're gonna have to look at. Maybe it will be, because it is a Manitowoc County case. Well, it's actually Calumet, but yeah, it would probably come through Manitowoc.
Yeah. They didn't care where it was held as long as Judge Fox was Judge Willis was the judge.
Yeah.
That says it all.
I agree. Alrighty. I think I tried to cover the questions as we came to them. Hopefully I didn't miss anyone. But it's pizza time for me, and probably pizza time or nap time for you, Christine.
Yeah.
We've got a little over 100 more DCI reports to get through, but we will. I'm just going to keep doing them until we're done. Still continuing to work on. Didn't really have time to do much last night of getting these documents prepared to get entered into the library. Again, my goal is to have them entered by a current date, not the report date. The current date is everything, because the reports so many are way out of whack.
Oh yeah.
They're not. They don't flow like they should. So
it's not an accurate timeline of what was happening.
No, not at all. So anyway, any last things last words before we jump ship?
No. If let's all just
Andy, don't go.
Let's just all pray that this judge is just and does what should be done, and at least has the courage to reopen this case so that we can sort out this mess. And that would be great. And if anyone gets an update, let us know. And if we get a Zoom link and the ability to record it, I'll be interested to hear what they got to say. And thanks everybody in the chat, and thanks Jax. And
you betcha. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll do this again soon.
Absolutely. Hopefully Doc will be feeling better by this coming weekend. We'll see. He needs to take care of himself first. We can always do a podcast, but your health is most important. So I want to thank everyone for jumping in. Conversations, questions, all good.
Yeah.
Keep it going. If you have more questions, put it in the comments. We'll try to get to it as soon as I can. One of us will. The picture I've got up now is one of the new ones that got included, and that's Pevito and his crew on November 10th. Had lights strung up, as we could see. Earl could have done this Earl could have done this as well on November 8th. They had the lights there and the generators. So,
do they look like they're really recovering a gruesome crime scene, or do they look like they're posing for a picture?
I mean, there's other photos. I mean, this is just one. Here they're working. So,
is that what they're doing? Does that look like they're working? Where's the evidence markers? Where's the, what I mean? No.
Yeah, I mean, they're pilfering through for sure. So,
where's the screen?
Well, they didn't use one. They didn't have this. They didn't have the sifter like Earl used. But again, Earl could have strung these lights up just like Pevito did and kept on going. But no, they had to get out of there it got dark, so they had to go eat dinner or whatever.
I think they were on Cuss Road on the 6th.
Well, they were definitely there. Well, they had more than just one set of lights. They had several sets.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, anyway, let's get out of here. Thanks again, everyone, for jumping in. If you got questions again, let us know. And this has been a Foul Play production.